It always seems like I'm running to race and racing around to do everything else.
Hey everybody, this is week 10 training for Dopey's 48.6 magical miles at Walt Disney World. This week, I'm throwing the training plan out the window. You guys know I like to have a little bit of fun. This is a good example of one of those weeks where you have to change the training plan to suit your needs. I have a race at the end of the week and a really busy travel schedule for weeks 11, 12, and 13. And also, in the interest of time and sanity, I'm splitting this video into two parts, 10.1, which you're watching, and 10.2, which is going to be my attempt at that new proof of time during the chocolate run in Orlando. I'm also starting things off differently with some cardio work here and some weight training, which I've been missing all summer long. I'm not going to do those two 45-minute training runs. Instead, I'm tapering to let my legs heal up. I'm not an expert on tapering. What I do know is that we have been tearing down the muscle fiber in our legs week in and week out. And by kind of backing off on the training runs, doing a little bit shorter training runs, it lets that muscle fiber repair itself. So I'm also not doing the 11 miler that most of you will be doing. Instead, the chocolate run is only 10 miles long, but I'm good with it because I've put in so many extra miles all summer long. Let me finish this up, a bit out of breath, and I'm going to talk about PR, personal record, and PoT, proof of time.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. So you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.
You know, I've really been looking forward to this. Time for some biceps, triceps, and shoulders. Also time to share some key times, dates, and corral placement for past and future races so we know where we need to be. It's kind of like the numbers on these weights. It really is about your key number. If you think you can run a half marathon in 2 hours and 45 minutes or less, a full marathon in 5.5 hours or less, if you think you can, you actually have to go out and find a sanctioned, chip-timed race, run it, and submit that proof of time to runDisney before the deadline so you don't get in a corral that's right in front of the balloon ladies. Now, they are as chipper and happy as the dwarves themselves, but if they get in front of you, they're going to boot you off the course. So let me finish this up, and I'm going to head out on training run number 28, and I'll share some key deadlines that are quickly approaching.
In the interest of tapering for my race, I'm doing an easy 5K, about an 11:20 pace. I'm a bit impressed with the races you guys have shared with me, those fall races looking to get some personal bests. And I'm only looking at 3 myself. I've only signed up for 2 right now. I'm still looking at a 10K. What really geeks me out, those of you who are actually doing marathons, not only to train for, but to POT for the Disney Marathon. And some of you are doing multiple. I mean, that is hardcore. I promised you some of the key deadlines, the dates for proofs of time, POTs. If you're doing Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend, the marathon, half marathon, Goofy or Dopey, you have until October 3rd. And don't do what I did last year, which is wait until the day before to run your race, and then you have to go searching for that web link. Give yourself about a 24-hour buffer. If you're doing Star Wars Lightside, is anyone doing Star Wars Lightside? Disney has not communicated about the fate of that race, but they do have a POT deadline in of October 10th. Now moving into 2018, if we're doing Princess Half Marathon, I am doing the Fairy Tale Challenge. We have until November 14th, and I am looking at a race in late October, hopefully to submit that for a great POT. And finally, if you're doing Star Wars Dark Side, we have until January 16th. Of course, if you rock out a great race during Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend, you could submit it for that race.
Complete. Kudos.
Finishing up the week with a relatively easy 2.5 to 3 miler because I am still tapering for my race. Once you've submitted your proof of time, runDisney sends it off to Track Shack. It's the running store in Orlando, and they actually crunch all of the corral numbers. If you miss the deadline, you're probably going to get in one of the last corrals, and unless you're an elite athlete, they really make few changes or exceptions. Now, the corral letters have changed over the years. They've gone from A through P to A through G for the latest Star Wars Dark Side. But it doesn't really matter because it's all dependent on the number that you submit and then the number that other runners submit that are either better or worse than yours. That's going to move you up and down in that letter system. I did a quick search in my computer files to find the PDFs that show the brackets for the corral placement. You can see how things have changed over time. If you take a number like, say, 2 hours and 20 minutes to complete a half marathon, that would have put you in about the H corral for the Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend for Dopey or Goofy or the marathon itself. And then by Star Wars, that would have put you in the D corral. However, because they're now doing mini waves on the smaller corral system, D would have been, in a sense, like being in H or I, because they're doing multiple fireworks for each one of those corrals. If you're looking for more information on the deadlines, remember you can always go to runDisney.com, find your race, and then tab down to the runner info section. You're going to find the proof of time on that page, and that's where they'll give you the deadline. As for those old PDFs that show you corral placement and maybe how you're going to fit into the corrals, I'm going to make some JPEGs out of them and I'll put them on my Instagram page. You'll find all the links in the description box below.
It's time to kick it old school. So you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.
I'm ending the week the way I started, with a bit of weight training, old school style, because it's back in chest day, mostly push-ups and pull-ups. A quick shout out to those of you doing the races at Disneyland. Good luck, and have a lot of fun. I'm also thinking about all of you in Southeast Texas right now. I have reached out to a few of you personally who I know are dealing with Hurricane Harvey. We have dealt with the hurricanes here before. Not quite that bad, but I know what it's like to live without the power and being stuck inside for days on end, or even having to work nonstop. So stay safe and stay strong. Remember, you can keep me motivated. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Give me a thumbs up and leave a comment below. How do you think you're going to do for your PoT race? Coming up next time, I'll let you know how I did on the Great Chocolate Race.